a 68 years old man 68 years old man with long lasting history of alcoholic liver disease. Okay, patient is having long lasting history of alcoholic liver disease, and patient is admitted to the hospital with a 2 week history of vomiting, confusion, and increased abdominal distension. Abdominal distension is nothing but accumulation of fluid in the body. In simple words, we can say that patient is having ascites. Okay, patient is having ascites में fluid buildup हो जाएगा and patient's abdominal distension occurs. Okay, and patient is also having worsening of jaundice. Patient is elevated with bilirubin. Bilirubin levels were elevated. Because of that, patient is also having jaundice. See, this patient was admitted into the hospital, and in the hospital we found that patient's laboratory data is showing serum sodium with 116. The normal range is 133 to 143. That means the sodium levels are low. Patient is having hyponatremia. ध्यान से सुनो, patient is having hyponatremia, and urea levels were elevated, and bilirubin levels were very high, and ALT levels again they are normal. They are normal. PT, PT, prothrombin time is slightly increased. I will tell you the significance of all this lab data. First try to understand. And potassium is very low. Low in the sense here the value of potassium is normal, but it is in borderline. It is slightly decreased, we can say. Okay, 3.5 to 5.5 बोल सकते हैं. 3.5 to 5.5. Here the value is 3.8, which is normal here, but we can say that it is slightly low in border. And serum creatinine is normal again. Albumin level is very low. Albumin, this is important. Albumins are very low, and alkaline phosphate is here, it is elevated, because in every inflammatory conditions this will be elevated. And see, this is the case, and here the patient was prescribed with spironolactone 300 mg every day in the morning. Patient was also prescribed with tamazepam and also lactulose. These are the 3 drugs which are given to this patient. Listen the case again. A 68 years old man with long lasting history of alcoholic liver disease. Patient is a long lasting alcoholic liver disease patient, and patient was admitted to the hospital with the 2 week history of vomiting, confusion, and abdominal distension, which is ascites. Patient is alcoholic for long period of time, and he was admitted to the hospital not because of alcoholic liver disease. Patient was admitted to the hospital because of vomiting, because of confusion, and because of ascites. And patient is also having jaundice. For these 3 to 4 symptoms, patient was admitted, and when lab data was taken, these are the different values we found. And here in this case, patient was given with spironolactone, temazepam, and lactulose. Clear, everybody? Understood, everybody? Now you see, in this case, I will explain you everything. In this case, they have given 3 questions. One is ascites. Give the treatment for ascites. And second question is to manage the patient for nausea and vomiting, because patient is having nausea and vomiting, and patient is also having confusion. So for confusion, how will you treat the patient? So these are the 3 questions. Before solving these 3 questions, let me tell you the significance of each and every lab data which is given in this case. First important thing, patient is having alcoholic liver disease. सुनो सब लोग, ध्यान से सुनो. यहाँ से पेशेंट को क्या कंडीशन है? पेशेंट इज हैविंग alcoholic liver disease. Patient is chronic alcoholic, and when patient takes a lot of alcohol for a long period of time, slowly what happens, our liver gets inflammation. Inflammation हो जाएगा, and liver cells will be deteriorated, and slowly the actions of all liver के actions in previous class we have discussed, all those actions will be slowly deteriorated, and patient will develop lot of symptoms. Okay, in previous class also I explained. Here in our case, patient is having nausea and vomiting. Patient is having ascites. Patient is having confusion. Along with this, sometimes patient will have bleeding disorder, which is not mentioned in this case, but वो हो सकता है. ये नहीं दिया है, but this may be possible. ये होने के chances है. And what else patient was having? Patient was having nausea, vomiting. Patient is having ascites, abdominal distension. Patient is having confusion. और क्या था patient को? Patient was having jaundice, very good. See, so these are the main complaints patient were having, and with this complaint patient was admitted to the hospital. Clear? Now first thing, alcoholic liver disease patient में और any liver disease patient is, जो भी chronic liver disease है, chronic liver disease can be seen with viral infection, it can be seen due to drug abuse, it can be seen due to alcohol, it may be, there are so many causes for chronic liver disease. Chronic liver disease के बहुत सारे causes है, but our case is alcoholic liver disease, and here in our case patient is having nausea and vomiting. Why liver disease patient, why liver disease patients gets nausea and vomiting is first question. And if liver disease patient comes to the hospital with severe vomiting, what should be the treatment of choice? Can anyone tell me why patient will develop nausea and vomiting in liver failure patient? Simple. कौन बोलेगा? कोई है क्लास में? बिलिरुबिन, someone is telling bilirubin and urea. Okay, possibility is there. See, एक चीज याद रख लो, कोई भी liver injured patient में, when liver is injured, liver is detoxifying the toxins in our body. अपने body के अंदर जो भी toxins है, for example ammonia हो गया, okay, in our body drugs हो गए, drugs, okay, and we have so many other whatever toxins are, toxins जो भी है, ये सब toxins को liver क्या करेगा? Liver will excrete, liver will metabolize all these substances and it will try to excrete through urine. But in the decreased function of liver, what happens? All these toxins will keep on increasing in the blood, and through that our therapeutic trigger zone will be activated, and through that patient will have nausea, vomiting, and patient will have vomiting. See here, एक चीज याद रख लो, पेशेंट का यूरिया कितना था? अपने केस में यूरिया कितना था? अपने पेशेंट में यूरिया was elevated. So urea, ammonia, I mean when urea is elevated in the blood, that is called uremia. Especially urea, uric acid and creatinine जब बढ़ जाएंगे, that is called uremia. Uremic patient कोई भी है, uremic. Today I was explaining about uremia to the PB students. किसी भी पेशेंट में अगर यूरिमिया है, that means patient's blood is toxic. So in toxic conditions, when blood becomes toxic, compulsory patient will have nausea and vomiting. So here all the toxic substances are built up in the blood, they were accumulated in the blood, that's why patient is having nausea and vomiting. Simple. Here especially urea, ammonia and some drugs and some toxins are increased in the body, because of that patient is having nausea and vomiting. We understood the reason why liver failed patient will have nausea and vomiting. Now can anyone tell me what treatment should be done or what treatment should be given to this nausea and vomiting? nausea vomiting कम करने के लिए treatment क्या दोगे? Anybody from the class? पहली चीज देखो, अगर किसी भी पेशेंट में वॉमिटिंग हो रहा है, उसका मीनिंग क्या है? किसी भी पेशेंट में वॉमिटिंग हो रहा है, उसका मीनिंग क्या है? उसका मीनिंग है पेशेंट इज गेटिंग डिहाइड्रेटेड. Patient is getting dehydrated. So our first objective here is to rehydrate the patient. Rehydrate the patient. Now here rehydration is very important. For rehydration we have 3 to 4 options. One, we can rehydrate the patient with normal saline. We can rehydrate the patient with dextrose, okay, 5%, 8%. We can also rehydrate the patient by giving ringer lactate. Okay, so here in these 3 options, which of the following 3 you will consider to rehydrate this patient? See, why we have to choose dextrose and why we should not choose normal saline is, when normal saline is given to liver failed patient who is having ascites or edema, the ascites and edema will be aggravated. Simple. ascites और एडिमा, अपन बॉडी में से जो फ्लूइड है उसको निकालने की कोशिश करना, फिर चढ़ाने की कोशिश नहीं करना. सो हियर द पेशेंट इज डिहाइड्रेटेड नॉट इन द abdomen और नॉट इन द ब्लड, पेशेंट इज डिहाइड्रेटेड इन द टिश्यूज. कभी भी देखो, अगर कोई पेशेंट डिहाइड्रेट हुआ है, उसका मीनिंग क्या है? डिहाइड्रेट हुआ मतलब पेशेंट के टिश्यूज के अंदर ब्लड वाटर नहीं है. Dehydration is always determined by the measurement of water from the tissues, not in the blood vessels and not in other cavities. Okay, remember this point. So patient का dehydration कम करने के लिए we have to go to dextrose. So here the best option is dextrose and normal saline should not be given. And to restrict the nausea and vomiting, nausea further sensation और vomiting कम करने के लिए the best option here we have is domperidone. domperidone के डोज क्या है? domperidone 10 mg can be given twice or thrice daily or for every 6 to 8 hours. domperidone tablets are available. domperidone दे सकते. And ondansetron is also effective drug. यहाँ पे आप anyone you can choose. So this is very basic and very simple treatment measure for nausea and vomiting. nausea vomiting करने के लिए पहले क्या करना, rehydration करना. Rehydration, we should not follow normal saline, but we should choose dextrose. And this dextrose also, after giving, we have to keep monitoring RBS of the patient if patient is diabetic, and along with this we have to keep checking patient's ascites and edema. Okay, ये सब देखते देना है. And domperidone or ondansetron can be given to further stop the nausea and vomiting. This is very simple. Now you see, next one is ascites. Very very important. I will try to tell you the mechanisms of ascites. ध्यान से सुनो सब लोग. ascites, किडनी लिवर फेल्ड पेशेंट्स में ascites आने के चांसेस बहुत ज़्यादा है. Can anyone tell me what is the exact reason or exact reason or mechanism for buildup of fluid in the abdominal cavity? ascites का main mechanism क्या है? Anybody from? लेकिन we have three mechanisms. We have three mechanisms for developing or building up of fluid in the abdominal cavity. For ascites, ascites is nothing but accumulation of fluid in the abdominal cavity, right? ये जो ascites है, इसके three reasons we have three reasons. ध्यान से सुनो सब लोग. SSG hospital के अंदर most of the liver failed cases will come with ascites, and treatment of ascites is also important. ध्यान से सुनो. See, अगर किसी भी पेशेंट में ascites है, ascites क्यों डेवलप होगा? फर्स्ट वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रीजन इज, सी, अगर किसी पेशेंट में लिवर इज फेल्ड, liver function is impaired, liver function is decreased, what will happen? When liver function is decreased, liver is accepting fluid from small intestines, fluid from stomach, and also fluid from large intestines. Okay, large intestines, small intestines, and from stomach, from all these places the fluid will be collected by the liver by hepatic portal vein, and from this hepatic portal vein it will process the fluid, and it will send the fluid from hepatic vein. This hepatic vein will go and it will attach to the inferior vena cava, and this inferior vena cava will go to heart, and it will open in the right auricle. This point we already know. अब देखो, अपने बॉडी के अंदर फ्लूइड कहाँ से आता? अपने ब्लड के अंदर, बॉडी के अंदर फ्लूइड कहाँ से आता? फ्लूइड इज मेनली कमिंग फ्रॉम द ओरल रूट ओनली, राइट? जो अपन ओरल रूट में पानी पीते हैं, खाते हैं, फ्रॉम दैट रूट ओनली फ्लूइड इज coming in the blood vessels. See, when liver is not performing its activity, ध्यान से सुनो, when liver is not performing its activity, the fluid which is present in the stomach, the fluid which is present in small intestine and in the large intestine, that fluid is not properly received by liver, and it is not pumped into the inferior vena cava, and that is not sent to the heart. Okay, heart को भी नहीं जाएगा. When fluid is not sent to the heart, what will happen? Patient will develop central hypovolemia. Very very important mechanism है, ध्यान से सुनो. Liver failed, when liver is failed, the fluid which is coming through the gastric GIT, it is not coming to the inferior vena cava and not entering into the heart, and from heart blood is not transfused to all body parts. That means it is simply the fluid in the blood is decreasing. Through that it will cause central hypovolemia. अब देखो, किसी को सेंट्रल हाइपोवोलेमिया हो गया. सेंट्रल हाइपोवोलेमिया मींस in all major blood vessels blood volume decreases. In central hypovolemia, what mechanism is triggered? Next क्या होगा? Anybody from the class? Immediately the kidneys will activate or kidneys will produce renin. RAS mechanism. Hypovolemia में क्या होगा? Renin will be activated, right? This renin will go to liver again, and in the liver it will convert angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. Angiotensin 1 will be converted into angiotensin 2 in the lungs, and finally what will happen? Patient's aldosterone, ध्यान से सुनो, due to hypovolemia RAS mechanism was activated. Due to activation of RAS mechanism, what will happen? Heart rate increases, it causes tachycardia, it increases blood pressure, and in the kidneys it will cause water and sodium retention होगा, and aldosterone will be increased. Aldosterone activity will be increased. Aldosterone activity increase होगा. वाटर रिटेंशन होगा, वाटर रीअब्जॉर्प्शन ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, टैकीकार्डिया काज होगा, ब्लड वेजल्स पूरे कंस्ट्रिक्ट होंगे एंड पेशेंट्स ब्लड प्रेशर विल बी इंक्रीज्ड ड्यू टू renin. And one more very important point याद रख लो, aldosterone which is produced from the kidneys in hypovolemia is not metabolized in liver. Why? जो aldosterone, yes, liver function is not up to the mark. So what will happen? Aldosterone metabolism कम हो जाएगा. सुनो, renin activation got elevated, aldosterone metabolism got decreased, so aldosterone activity बढ़ जाएगा, renin activity due to RAS mechanism बढ़ जाएगा. तो RAS mechanism is increased, aldosterone activity is increased. Through this what will happen? Water and sodium retention is seen in the patient. Simple. Water and sodium retention हो जाएगा. Due to this is the first mechanism. This is the first mechanism for ascites. First mechanism क्या है? Fluid retention क्यों हो रहा? Due to RAS and due to aldosterone. Understood everybody the first mechanism? First mechanism में किसी को doubt है? See, for ascites I told we have 3 mechanisms. In that, first mechanism is due to liver injury, hypovolemia occurs. When hypovolemia occurs, renin is produced. Renin will increase water and sodium retention, and again aldosterone activity increases. Aldosterone is also increased due to liver injury. Aldosterone metabolism is decreased. So aldosterone and renin, RAS, both the mechanisms will increase water and sodium retention. This is first mechanism. Now, second mechanism of ascites. First mechanism सीख गए सब लोग? See, in first mechanism, RAS and aldosterone. Due to this, water and sodium retention occurred. Now, second mechanism, ध्यान से सुनो सब लोग. Second mechanism, see, patient will have portal hypertension. ये पोर्टल हाइपरटेंशन समझने के लिए आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू विथ सिंपल मैकेनिज्म. ध्यान से सुनो. सी, लेट मी ड्रा द डायग्राम. आप लोग सब ध्यान दे रहे हैं यहाँ पे? आर यू ऑल फॉलोइंग मी? सब लोग ध्यान से सुनो. दिस इज लिवर, स्टमक, ओके, डिओडिनम, स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन, लार्ज इंटेस्टाइन. लार्ज इंटेस्टाइन मतलब मान लो दिस इज कोलन, ओके, कोलन, इलियम, रेक्टम, फाइनली एनस. देखो, and here we have pancreas and here we have spleen. बराबर? Okay, see, just imagine this is systemic artery. ये क्या है? Systemic artery और aorta. Systemic aorta क्या है पता है ना आप लोगों को? Everybody knows, right? And see, I will draw this is inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava नीचे from the lower limbs, from the liver and from all the gastric glands, it will collect the deoxygenated blood and it will go and open into the right auricle. Okay, this is inferior vena cava. Okay, अब देखो ध्यान से सुनो सब लोग. This is systemic artery, this is inferior vena cava, this is liver and all. See, from the GI tract, from the small intestine, okay, from the large intestine, the liver is collecting blood. Blood मतलब all the required substances through hepatic portal vein. All the substances will be collected into the liver. Yes, this is hepatic portal vein. ध्यान से सुनो सब लोग. थोड़ा confusion होगा, मेरे को लिखने में थोड़ा तकलीफ हो रही, but still sometimes my screen is not, I have to take care of my screen, board and this screen, that screen, बहुत सारे, तो थोड़ा confusion रहता. That's why I will be going slowly. सब जगह पे concentrate करते रहना इसलिए. Hepatic portal vein you already know. Okay, now you see, from the systemic artery, one blood vessel will directly come to the liver. Can anyone name the vein, the artery which is coming from the systemic artery to the liver? That is hepatic artery. Hepatic artery, from one branch from the systemic artery, it comes to the liver directly, that is hepatic artery. And there is one more branch which will enter into the stomach and as well as into the pancreas. The name of these artery is celiac artery. ध्यान से सुनो, celiac artery, celiac artery. सिस्टमिक आर्टरी से एक ब्रांच लिवर पे जाएगा, दैट इज कॉल्ड हेपाटिक आर्टरी. एंड वन ब्रांच इज कमिंग विच इज डिवाइडिंग इनटू टू, इट गोज टू stomach and also spleen, which is called celiac artery. ये सब ऑलरेडी पढ़े हैं, या वही आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग ऑल दिस, you should understand. See, celiac artery. And next there is one more branch which will come in from the systemic artery, which will come from the systemic artery, and it will majorly it will go and supply blood to the small intestine, which is called superior mesenteric artery. The third branch which is supplying blood to the small intestine is superior mesenteric artery. One more branch is there which is inferior, which will supply blood to the colon, to the large intestines, which is called inferior mesenteric artery. समझ गए सब लोग? हेपेटिक आर्टरी, सीलियाक आर्टरी, सुपीरियर मेसेंट्रिक आर्टरी एंड इंफीरियर मेसेंट्रिक आर्टरी. समझ गए सब लोग? These 4 different types of arteries. All these arteries are sending blood to the liver, stomach, small intestines and large intestines, right? And see, from the liver, actually liver is collecting the blood and all substances from stomach, small intestines and large intestine through hepatic portal vein. Through पूरा substance hepatic tissue में लेने के बाद there is one more vein which will directly go and bind to the inferior vena cava, which is called hepatic vein. Simple, hepatic vein. अब देखो, inferior vena cava, अगर inferior vena cava में block आ गया तो what will happen? From here all the hepatic vein, hepatic portal vein, here we have inferior mesenteric artery, superior mesenteric artery, यहाँ पे हर जगह पे क्या होगा? हर जगह पे ट्रैफिक आ जाएगा, ओवरफ्लो हो जाएगा, हाँ ओवरलोड हो जाएगा. सी, इंफीरियर वेना कैवा. और इफ लिवर इज फेल्ड, अगर लिवर फंक्शनिंग कम हो गया तो क्या होगा? यहाँ से फ्लूइड जो इंफीरियर वेना कैवा में जाना है वो रुक जाएगा, और जो फ्रॉम हियर हेपेटिक पोर्टल वेन के अंदर प्रेशर बढ़ जाएगा, दैट इज कॉल्ड हेपेटिक पोर्टल हाइपरटेंशन. एंड अलोंग विथ हेपेटिक पोर्टल हाइपरटेंशन, याद रख लो, हेपेटिक आर्टरी, सीलियाक आर्टरी, सुपीरियर मेसेंट्रिक आर्टरी एंड इंफीरियर मेसेंट्रिक आर्टरी, ये पूरे के पूरे ब्रांचेस जो है, these all branches is called splanchnic artery connection, ऐसा बोल सकते हैं. So in this splanchnic artery connection, pressure increases and through that all the blood vessels will be dilated. ये हर एक blood vessel जो है, हर एक blood vessel they will be dilated, and through that what happens? The fluid will leak out into the abdominal cavity. All these blood vessels are located in abdominal area only. ये सब पूरे के पूरे blood vessels जो है, they are available in abdomen only. So when the blood vessels are dilated, the fluid will leak out from all these hepatic artery, celiac artery, superior mesenteric artery, inferior mesenteric artery, hepatic portal vein and hepatic vein. From all these blood vessels, fluid will leak out and it will cause ascites. This is second mechanism. समझ गए सब लोग? अब देखो, now I will explain you the third mechanism. Are you all following me? Now, third mechanism is very interesting mechanism. In initial classes I was explaining you about edema. आप लोगों को याद है कि नहीं? In initial classes I was explaining you about edema, right? See, in the blood we have albumin and globulin. Okay, these albumins and globulins both are very very important serum proteins. Okay, these serum proteins are produced by liver. ये चीज अपने को ऑलरेडी पता है. Serum proteins, albumins and globulins both are very important. What is the function of this albumin and globulin, especially albumin? इसका फंक्शन क्या है पता है? In the blood vessel, this albumin will maintain oncotic pressure. In previous class I told oncotic pressure. Oncotic pressure क्या है? What is oncotic pressure? Oncotic pressure is nothing but it is the pressure which is exerted by the albumin, which will hold, it will hold the water in the blood vessels. ब्लड वेजल के अंदर ये जो प्रोटीन है ना albumin, वो पकड़ के रखता है. If albumin concentration is decreased, what will happen? Oncotic pressure decreases and fluid hydrostatic pressure increases. Hydrostatic pressure in the blood increases, and what happens? In the decreased amount of albumin, the fluid which is present in the blood will leak out. It will leak out, and through that what happens? The fluid which is present in the blood vessel will be decreased and it will leak out, and through that it causes edema. It causes edema. Edema का main और एक mechanism क्या है? Due to decreased albumin, patient's oncotic pressure decreases. When patient's oncotic pressure decreases, the albumin was holding the water, right? The water holding capacity कम हो जाएगा, hydrostatic pressure बढ़ जाएगा और वहां से water पूरा leak हो जाएगा. From higher hydrostatic pressure to lower hydrostatic pressure आ जाएगा fluid पूरा, and through that it will cause edema. This is the third mechanism. And albumin concentration कब कम होगा? If patient is having liver injury, because liver is the main organ which produces these serum proteins. This is the third mechanism of ascites. Understood everybody? Understood everybody? अब देखो, I will just simply I will give you the summary. ध्यान से सुनो सब लोग, summary सुनो बस. ये सब अब तक जो भी mechanism समझाए थे ना, ये सब it is not that much important. Now you see, now everybody concentrate. First one, our first mechanism was due to elevated aldosterone. First mechanism was the ascites का main mechanism क्या है? Due to elevated aldosterone activity. Aldosterone activity क्यों बढ़ जाता? Because aldosterone is not metabolized. Second mechanism is hepatic portal hypertension. Oh, okay, or splanchnic artery hypertension. Okay, splanchnic artery vasodilation. This is second mechanism. Third mechanism is decreased amount of serum albumin, and through that what happens? Oncotic pressure decreases and fluid will leak outside. Okay, एक्चुअली यहाँ पे देखो, सीरम albumin अगर कम हो गया तो पेशेंट को ascites ही नहीं आता, पेशेंट को पेडल एडिमा भी आता. याद रख लो, when serum albumin decreases, patient will not only develop ascites but also patient develops pedal edema. Edema will be developed all over the body. याद रख लो, serum albumin का that much importance है. So liver failure में, heart failure में, kidney failure में edema हो सकता है. Liver failure में क्यों? Because of serum albumin deficiency. So these three are the important mechanisms through which patient will develop ascites. अब देखो, अब patient को ascites है, how will you treat patient's ascites? How will you treat patient's ascites? Anybody from the class? फटाफट जवाब दो, ascites कैसा कम करो? Yes. Now you see, let us go with the treatment. Treatment of ascites. Treatment is based on signs and symptoms and pathophysiological mechanisms. अपने पास 3 mechanisms थे. नंबर 1 था स्पिरोनोलैक्टोन बढ़ गया था, aldosterone बढ़ गया था, aldosterone. तो अपन aldosterone को कम करने के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं? aldosterone को कम करने के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं? Yes, aldosterone कम करने के लिए we have aldosterone antagonist. aldosterone antagonist कौन है? aldosterone antagonist कौन है? spironolactone है. Spironolactone is also called potassium sparing diuretic. Patient को ascites है, fluid was built up in the abdominal cavity and fluid is also filled up in the lower extremities or upper extremities, wherever. Okay, patient is having edema. So we have to decrease the patient's edema, and for that we should go with one diuretic. So in that diuretic, spironolactone is drug of choice. Why? Because patient's aldosterone was elevated. एंड और एक चीज याद रख लो, अगर किसी भी पेशेंट में ascites के साथ हाइपोकैलेमिया है, अपने पेशेंट में हाइपोकैलेमिया था, ascites में हाइपोकैलेमिया होगा aldosterone एलिवेट होने के वजह से. Due to elevated aldosterone, hypokalemia occurs, and due to this only patient will develop edema. So here एक चीज याद रख लो, I always in my vivas I always ask to the patient, to my students, why spironolactone is given to this hepatic failure patient? Why not other diuretic? then they will not give answer, because see reason is very simple. यहाँ पे पोटेशियम कम है, अपने को पोटेशियम रीअब्जॉर्प्शन चाहिए, पोटेशियम बढ़ाना चाहिए फॉर दैट, एंड वी हैव टू डिक्रीज द पेशेंट्स एडिमा. सिंपल aldosterone was elevated, so here aldosterone कम करने के लिए, पोटेशियम बढ़ाने के लिए, एडिमा कम करने के लिए बेस्ट ऑप्शन इज spironolactone. So spironolactone is drug of choice in patient with ascites with liver injury. Clear? And sometimes along with spironolactone, loop diuretic furosemide also can be given. Furosemide also can be given, but majority we have to go with spironolactone. Spironolactone, potassium sparing diuretic, is the drug of choice in ascites. Clear? This is one option. And the one option means these are treatment strategies. This is to be started. And number two, always restrict oral diets, oral especially oral fluid along with sodium restriction and fluid restriction should be done to the patient. This is second strategy. Next, advise patient to take rest, enough rest. Okay, resting kar diye. Okay, we decrease the oral fluid, and we also gave spironolactone. Even in this condition, patient's ascites was not relieved. पेशेंट का ascites और पेशेंट का एडिमा कम नहीं हुआ. Then what will you do? Paracentesis. Very good, Vicky. You know what is paracentesis? Very nice. Paracentesis, simple. Paracentesis is nothing but removal of fluid from the abdominal cavity. There are some procedures just by telling you will not understand. आप इमेजिन करें तो भी आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा. पैरासेंटेसिस, सिंपल पैरासेंटेसिस आप यूट्यूब में जाके टाइप करो, you will find some 2 to 3 minute videos, 5 minute videos. You just see that. Based on that you will understand. अपन पैरासेंटेसिस ये सब करने की जरूरत नहीं है, ये सब नर्सिंग का प्रोसेस है, बट यू शुड नो व्हाट इज पैरासेंटेसिस, व्हेन इट इज परफॉर्म्ड एंड हाउ इट इज परफॉर्म्ड. ओके, सो देखो, अगर एसिटिस के लिए ट्रीटमेंट देना है तो व्हाट वी हैव टू डू, वी हैव टू गो विद spironolactone. ड्रग ऑफ चॉइस इज spironolactone. along with that furosemide also can be given. अगर ये देने के बाद ओरल रिस्ट्रिक्शन कम करने के बाद भी अगर पेशेंट का एसिटिस कम नहीं हो रहा तो पैरासेंटेसिस वी कैन डू. एंड along with paracentesis, if पैरासेंटेसिस करने के बाद भी नहीं है तो some other options we have one process called tips. वो सब थोड़ा complicated है, that all we will not recommend in all cases. Okay, so I think you understood what is ascites, how patient is developing ascites, and what treatment option we have for ascites. Clear? Now next is, see, here I think I have a sequential approach for management of ascites. ascites करने के लिए क्या क्या चाहिए? फर्स्ट, बेड रेस्ट करना है, सोडियम रिस्ट्रिक्शन करना है पेशेंट को. ओके, एंड spironolactone or any other potassium sparing diuretic. Potassium sparing diuretic is nothing but aldosterone antagonist. Okay, spironolactone देना है, और अगर देना है तो spironolactone plus loop diuretic also we can go. Okay, and if this is not controlling, we can go with large volume paracentesis. Okay, paracentesis होने के बाद compulsory colloid replacement कर देना है. Okay, this is important. And other measures just now I told, we can go with transjugular intrahepatic portosystemic shunt बोलते, tips बोलते. Here these tips I will tell you what is tips. And we have peritoneovenous shunt करके है, and consider orthotropic liver transplantation if possible. So these are not commonly performed, since they are highly not that much recommended. Okay, थोड़ा complicated procedure हो जाते. Till here we can do maximum to maximum spironolactone देने से कम हो जाएगा, अगर नहीं कम होगा तो we'll go with paracentesis. Okay, so this is the method of treating ascites. And next is, see, here in our patient was having confusion. Patient को confusion है, yes or no? Our patient was also having confusion. Why patient will have confusion? Why liver failure patients will have confusion? Anybody from the class? किसी भी पेशेंट में लिवर फेल हो गया तो कंफ्यूजन आएगा, क्यों? किसी भी पेशेंट का अगर लिवर फेल्यूर है तो कंफ्यूजन अगर आया तो याद रख लो, पेशेंट इज सस्पेक्टेड विथ हेपेटिक एन्सेफेलोपैथी. एक चीज याद रख लो, अगर हेपेटिक फेल्यूर के वजह से पेशेंट को कंफ्यूजन आ रहा है तो मान लेना पेशेंट इज हैविंग हेपेटिक एन्सेफेलोपैथी. व्हाट इज हेपेटिक एन्सेफेलोपैथी? सिंपल, ब्लड के अंदर अगर अमोनिया बढ़ गया, दिस अमोनिया इज नॉन वाटर soluble and ammonia can cross the brain, and in the brain it will cause brain layer damage. That is called encephalopathy. And because of that, patient will develop so many symptoms, CNS symptoms. In that CNS symptoms, सब लोग ध्यान दो. Here we have, according to the stage, we have 5-6 stages बोलते grading. In previous class I was explaining. Vicky, just concentrate here. हेपेटिक एन्सेफेलोपैथी के ग्रेड्स है ये. वी हैव ग्रेड 0 सब क्लिनिकल, ग्रेड 1, ग्रेड 2, ग्रेड 3 एंड ग्रेड 4. ये ग्रेड्स क्यों देते हैं? ये ग्रेड्स क्यों देते हैं? बेस्ड ऑन द पेशेंट सिम्टम, सिम्टम के हिसाब से देते हैं। ओके, अगर पेशेंट नॉर्मल है, नो सिम्टम्स, नो सीएनएस सिम्टम्स, पेशेंट इज एट ग्रेड 0। सब क्लिनिकल किसको बोलते हैं? पेशेंट सी अबनॉर्मल साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट फॉर एंसेफेलोपैथी, फॉर एग्जांपल नंबर करेक्शन टेस्ट, यहाँ पे पेशेंट का अमोनिया लेवल्स, लैब पैरामीटर्स वो सब अबनॉर्मल रहता, बट पेशेंट का बिहेवियर नॉर्मली रहता। ओके, सो दिस इज सब क्लिनिकल यहाँ पे। एंड सी हियर फॉर ग्रेड 1, मूड डिस्टर्बेंस, एबनॉर्मल स्लीप, पेशेंट को स्लीप एक एक बार आती रहती, नहीं आती रहती, स्लीप पैटर्न पूरा चेंज होते रहता, एंड पेशेंट हैंड राइटिंग ऑल्सो विल बी चेंज्ड, नीट राइटिंग लिखने वाला पूरा उल्टा पुल्टा लिख देता। ओके, सो इफ पेशेंट इज हैविंग मूड डिसऑर्डर, स्लीप पैटर्न चेंजेस एंड हैंड राइटिंग चेंजेस, वी कैन से दैट पेशेंट इज एट ग्रेड 1। और थोड़े पेशेंट्स में कम कंटिन्यूस ड्रोजिंग आते रहता, पेशेंट सोते रहता। ओके, एंड पेशेंट मेंटल एबिलिटी कम हो जाता, 2+2 कितना बोले तो 5 बोलता पेशेंट, बिकॉज ब्रेन बराबर काम नहीं करता। ओके, एंड ये इम्पेयरमेंट हो जाएगा पेशेंट का मेंटल एबिलिटी। एंड एस्ट्रिक 6, पेशेंट चलने चलने में इधर उधर दिक्कत होगी, पेशेंट को ध्यान से नहीं खड़ पाता। ओके, पेशेंट कांट स्टैंड प्रॉपरली, स्टैगर करते रहता पेशेंट। ओके, स्टेबिलिटी नहीं रहती। if patient is having these symptoms, we can tell that patient is at stage 2, I mean grade 2. And if patient has confusion, disorientation and somnolent but arousable and asterixis, same, अगर यहाँ पे पेशेंट को confusion है तो then we can say that patient is at stage 3. And if patient has coma, अनरेस्पॉन्सिवनेस, पेशेंट को बुलाए तो भी नहीं उठता, कुछ भी स्टिमुलाई से कुछ भी पेनफुल कुछ करे तो भी या पेशेंट उठता नहीं, कोमा में चले जाता। If anybody is in coma, then we consider that patient is at stage 4. So based on these symptoms, based on coma, we will determine patient is at grade 4. If patient has confusion, grade 3. If patient has drowsiness, grade 2. If patient has slight mood disturbances and sleep disturbances, patient is at grade 1. Okay, so these are different grades according to the symptoms of the patient in hepatic encephalopathy. तो अपना पेशेंट को कंफ्यूजन था, तो पेशेंट कौन सा ग्रेड पे है? ग्रेड 3। आवर पेशेंट इज एट ग्रेड 3। ओके, सो देखो, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्लाइड, याद रख लो। अगर किसी भी पेशेंट में लिवर इंजुरी है एंड इफ पेशेंट इज सस्पेक्टेड विथ हेपेटिक एन्सेफेलोपैथी, these are different factors which will precipitate, these factors will precipitate hepatic encephalopathy. अगर किसी को हेपेटिक एन्सेफेलोपैथी है, along with that if these factors are there, we have to restrict this factor. okay, so अगर किसी भी पेशेंट में गैस्ट्रोइंटेस्टाइनल ब्लीडिंग हो रहा है, देन हेपेटिक एन्सेफेलोपैथी और बढ़ने के चांसेस ज्यादा हो जाता। if patient has infection, again this infection also can precipitate hepatic encephalopathy. Hypokalemia, metabolic alkalosis, high protein diet, hepatic encephalopathy में हाई प्रोटीन डाइट नहीं देना पेशेंट को, याद रख लो। एंड इफ पेशेंट हैज कॉन्स्टिपेशन हो गया तो फिर अमोनिया एक्सक्रीट नहीं होगा, अमोनिया और ज्यादा ऑब्जर्व हो जाएगा, हेपेटिक एन्सेफेलोपैथी काज करेगा। एंड याद रख लो, हेपेटिक एन्सेफेलोपैथी कंडीशंस में ड्रग्स लाइक ओपियोइड एंड बेंजोडाइजेपिन शुड नेवर बी गिवन। Opioid analgesics and benzodiazepines should never be given in hepatic encephalopathy. Okay, and if patient has deterioration of liver function and post surgical tips, अगर पेशेंट को टिप्स वगैरह कुछ है तो even these also aggravates patient's condition. यहाँ पे याद रखने की चीज क्या है? Precipitating factors like drugs, if patient is taking opioid or benzodiazepines, hepatic encephalopathy रहता पेशेंट को और severe pain है तो tramadol, some opioid drugs will be given to the patients in SSG. If patient is taking tramadol along with hepatic encephalopathy with pain, so Vicky, what will you do? Immediately you will stop those drugs. If patient is taking benzodiazepines, if any drug like diazepam or anything, even in that cases also we should not go, because hepatic encephalopathy aggravate हो सकता है. These are important triggering factors. Okay, now we will go with the treatment of hepatic encephalopathy. Hepatic encephalopathy का treatment कैसा करोगे? You can zoom the image and see. We have lactulose. Lactulose, what it does, lactulose will cause diarrhea and it will excrete the ammonia from the GI tract, from the feces में ammonia absorb करने नहीं देगा due to diarrhea. So ammonia we can restrict in at some extent. Okay, so lactulose should be given to the patient 15 to 30 ml orally 2 to 4 times, till 4 times we can go, 4 times, याद रख लो 4 times 15 to 30 ml दे सकते हैं lactulose syrup. एंड वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, वी हैव मेट्रोनोडोजोल. बहुत सारे पेशेंट को, हेपेटिक एन्सेफेलोपैथी पेशेंट को मेट्रोनोडोजोल देते रहते। आई आस्क व्हाई मेट्रोनोडोजोल इज गिवन टू द पेशेंट, दे विल से इट इज फॉर इन्फेक्शन सर. इट इज नॉट फॉर इन्फेक्शन. It what it metronidazole will destroy the gastric microflora, and through that what it does, it will again stop the absorption or production of ammonia, okay, from the GA tract. So 400 to 800 mg orally can be given in divided doses, once, twice dete usually, morning and evening. Okay, so next is neomycin also can be given sometimes, and rifaximin, even this is also given. So these are drugs, and there is another drug called lola dete. Okay, and so these are different options we have for hepatic encephalopathy. Okay, so अब देखो, we will go back to the case. ध्यान से सुनो सब लोग. अपना फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन क्या था? ascites ट्रीटमेंट कैसा दोगे? ascites, what is the treatment given for ascites? Simple. For ascites, what will you do? We will go with spironolactone. We will advise the patient to restrict the salt and water, and if this is not treated, or if this is not controlling the ascites, we will go with paracentesis. Simple. Okay, and we will check the patient's albumin levels, potassium levels, and also sodium levels. Okay, and if patient has vomiting, for vomiting domperidone is best drug of choice. Domperidone or ondansetron can be given, and we have to rehydrate the patient. Rehydration करना है तो compulsory go with dextrose, not with normal saline. याद रख लो ये एक चीज. एंड यहाँ पे कंफ्यूजन था पेशेंट को. कंफ्यूजन के लिए क्या करोगे? कंफ्यूजन के लिए वी विल, फॉर कंफ्यूजन वी आर सस्पेक्टिंग हेपाटिक एन्सेफेलोपैथी. Okay, and hepatic encephalopathy, and patient is at grade 3. So here for hepatic encephalopathy we can go with lactulose. Already lactulose is given here. देखो ध्यान से देखो, lactulose 10 ml only given. 10 ml only given. We can increase the dose of lactulose up to 30 or 40 ml. 40 ml 3 times दे सकते हैं. We can increase the dose of lactulose. And ध्यान दो यहाँ पे temazepam is given. This drug should be avoided here in this case. Compulsory, this drug should be avoided in this case. Okay, spironolactone is okay. Spironolactone is good choice here, and temazepam should be avoided, and lactulose dose should be increased. And for confusion, again we can add metronidazole or rifaximin, and we have to increase the lactulose dose. Okay, so for hepatic encephalopathy and confusion, we can go with lactulose and metronidazole, and for nausea vomiting we can go with domperidone or ondansetron, and for ascites we will go with spironolactone, restriction of water from the oral route. So these are some basic things about today's case. इसमें कुछ किसी को कुछ डाउट है बोलो. यहाँ पे albumin कम था. Here you can also add, you can suggest to the physician that sir, if patient's ascites is not decreased, we can advise albumin also for the patient. albumin suggest कर सकते. And here patient is having elevated PT. किसका? हाँ, यहाँ पे PT बढ़ गया ना. PT बढ़ गया तो क्या है? We have to give vitamin K. Simple. बिकॉज लीवर फेल हो गया, विटामिन के एसोसिएटेड क्लॉटिंग फैक्टर्स कम हो गए तो क्लॉट नहीं होगा ना, प्रोथ्राम्बिन टाइम बढ़ जाएगा. सिंपल. सो हियर वी हैव टू एडवाइस वन विटामिन के इंजेक्शन टू द पेशेंट. विटामिन के इंजेक्शन इसके लिए दे देना है, और आलमिन के लिए आलमिन इन्फ्यूज करने के लिए बोल सकते. ओके, एंड क्रिएटिनिन. ओके, पोटेशियम, फॉर पोटेशियम ऑलरेडी वी आर गोइंग विद स्पिरोनोलैक्टोन. स्पिरोनोलैक्टोन पोटेशियम इंक्रीज कर देगा. अगर स्पिरोनोलैक्टोन कॉन्ट्राइंडिकेटेड है, ओनली फ्यूरोसिमेट जा रहा है, तो वी हैव टू गो विद पोटेशियम सप्लीमेंट. ओके, सो ये एक देख लेना. एंड ALT बिलिरुबिन. यस, बिलिरुबिन के लिए यहाँ पे वी डोंट हैव एग्जैक्ट मैनेजमेंट स्ट्रैटेजीज, बट यहाँ पे देखो अगर पेशेंट का सिरोसिस है, हेपेटाइटिस है, मैक्सिमम अगर लीवर फंक्शन नॉर्मल हो गया तो ऑटोमेटिक बिलिरुबिन कम हो जाएगा. फॉर दिस वी कांट डू एनीथिंग. एंड फॉर यूरिया एंड सोडियम, हियर सोडियम फॉर यूरिया हाई प्रोटीन डाइट कम करने के डाइटरी precautions we have to take to the patient, we should advise to the patient. Okay, so these are important points we have to focus, and this is the way how we have to handle the cases in the hospital. और 2-3 cases है अपने पास, lengthy cases. If patient is having more than 15-20 drugs in single prescription, how to evaluate the prescription, how to find adverse drug reactions, how to find drug interactions, एंड उसमें इंटरवेंशंस कैसा फाइंड करना है, वो सब अपन नेक्स्ट क्लास में देखेंगे कभी. ओके, क्लियर?